You're listening to the Super League Pod, coming up on episode 102 of your favourite Rugby League podcast. We've got all your feedback and shout-outs from last week, news from around the world of Rugby League. We'll be looking back at round 16 of Super League and previewing round 17, and we'll be talking a little bit about the Summer Bash as well. So strap yourselves in, kids. It's going to be another great episode as we bring you your feedback on your podcast, the Super League Pod. Okay, welcome everyone to the Super League Pod. I'm Tom, and as always, I'm joined by Mr. Mark Illingworth.
How come I get full named and you don't?
Well, Tom Crook.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like you know me and my Yorkshire. I love you've got the best possible surname as far as I'm concerned as a Yorkshireman.
Well, it's...
Mark, you may as well be called Mark McYorkshirepants, and you're not even
more Scottish.
Well, you know what I mean.
That would reflect more of my heritage, if anything.
Would. Well, yeah, true, it would. So, I just, Mr. Mark Illingworth. It rolls off the tongue rather nicely, so that's all I'm saying.
We're going to talk more than a bit about the Summer Bash, I assume.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great day on Saturday.
It was tremendous, wasn't it? A great day in the sun drinking, and we met a load of really cool people as well.
Definitely,
so if you kind of come and say hello to us, you'll get a mention, and we'll touch on that at some point in the show. It's a little bit strange for me today to be doing this in broad daylight. Normally we record the show of a Monday evening, don't we? About 8 o'clock we start, but because it's a bank holiday, we're able to get it done a little bit earlier, so hopefully it goes up. I don't know what your plans are, whether it'll go up about the same time or whether it'll go up.
The plan is to actually have some sleep on a Monday night.
Hey, there you go. How does that sound?
That'll be novel. That'll be the first time since, January?
It's exciting times for you, Mark, but it's a lovely bank holiday Monday. It's about 11:30, so it feels a bit more civilised today, the Super League Pod.
And I've not had a day's worth of working frustrations to eke out, so we'll see how we get.
I was going to say, because you're still a bit under the weather, aren't you? So
just because we were out drinking and shouting and a lot on Saturday, it's just a bit of catch up now with the voice.
It really was. Normally this is the point where I ask you how your week's been, but I guess pretty much apart from unless there's been something else exciting going on, the Summer Bash that we went to together has pretty much been the main thing of your week. But other than that, how's your week been?
I had a nice walk around Lytham Hall yesterday.
Oh, did you?
It was alright. They've cleared out a lot. It looks a lot different from last time I was there, but the hall's falling apart still.
Yeah, yes, it does tend to.
Sadly.
Yes. Oh, very enough.
How about yourself?
Yeah, good. I spent yesterday shaking off my hangover. So whilst I've spent the last sort of 3 or 4 weeks being really dedicated to the bike and eating healthily and what have you, yesterday it all fell apart a little bit. But do you know what? That's okay, because this morning, back on the horse, straight on the bike first thing this morning, cranked out a quick 15 miles, and melon and fromage fry to start the day. So we're doing all right. The highlight of the week, apart from my dietary concerns, was definitely the bash. And to be fair, they flew out the window on Saturday as well with all the fine ales we were enjoying, courtesy of Bloomfield Road.
Well, all the
dodgy lager and Kingston Press fruity cider.
At least they don't rip you off too much at Bloomfield Road.
It wasn't too bad, was it?
It's fairly pub pricey, isn't it? Yeah. £3 a drink.
You can take that, and it's easy to work out and kind of do the maths when you're half cut and stood in the queue as well, isn't it? Right, feedback and shout out, Mark. Who's been getting in touch this week?
Not as much as last week, but still a bit. Cutthroat Jake, John, he got in touch. He said, another day, another destination, listening to Super League Pod in rainy Leamington Spa.
Okay.
And he also says, as a Leeds fan, he'd be cock-a-hoop if Wakey won something. But that's because he wants not Wigan and not St Helens and people like that, surely.
Yeah, but that's an understandable logic, isn't it?
But the point we were talking about last week is Leeds fans didn't give a shit if Wakefield went down or not last year.
No.
So why should Wakefield fans be feeling sorry for Leeds fans?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I've already.
But he's not a Wakefield fan, and he would. I mean, I would be cock-a-hoop to see Wakefield win something. I spent the better part of our first series absolutely bagging on Wakefield.
Well,
but it would be great to see not just Wakefield though, someone different, Hull, Catalan, Wakefield, someone like that to do something, a challenge cup or get to the grand final, do something like that, and make that change in the guard happen a little bit more. That's brilliant for the sport, I think.
Okay. Dr. Bob Phillips got in touch. He said yes, he's got a podcast. It's the Archives of Diseases in Childhood Archimedes podcast. So Archimedes is what it's called.
Yeah.
So it's an evidence-based snippets on paediatrics information.
Very good.
So if anyone's interested in, childhood diseases,
Bob Phillips is a good starting point, and it's the Archimedes podcast.
Get on it.
It's quite nice to promote a podcast like that because it's very little of our demographics overlap in that Venn diagram, do they? So,
but I reckon a lot of people will give it at least one go just because how much love Dr. Bob gets. I mean, he's double winner of Fan of the Year.
Absolutely, and he's got a voice like melted velvet, Mark. That's the other side of it.
Sean Bruiser got in touch. He said Catalans have repeatedly claimed that they're treated badly by the RFL. Now Kukash claims that the Catalans are treated too well.
I would suggest that both those people are wrong.
We would. I've got a few corrections and clarifications that'll roll into this show.
Great, because after Thursday night's game, I'm really looking forward to hearing you get on your high horse.
This is me correcting us from last week, or mostly me. We talked about the overseas quota, didn't we? And we talked about it in terms of passports held, and we didn't really. That's not the way to look at it anymore, is it? We sort of managed to forget that about 2008 that they changed the rules.
Yeah,
brought in the
Federation and non-Fed trend,
yeah. And if we'd have remembered that at the time, which I didn't because I'm an idiot, I would have pointed out that Pat Richards and Anderson were both playing in Super League before that came in, and there was a sort of a wall came down that if you could qualify as a non-Australian or New Zealand player in the old basis of what it used to be, because they used to let the people with passports from other places count, not count the same, and because Pat could get an Irish one and what have you. So because they were here before that happened, they were not classed as non-federation trained players.
See.
So and a federation trained player is anyone who's been in the system of a club or national structure or something that's part of the RLEF for 3 years before for 3 years before the age of 21, isn't it?
That's right.
Or is it before they stop qualifying to play for an under 21 side? So before the age of 22, I suppose. But yeah. So that's how that works out, and there's a piece in League Express as well but I remembered it halfway through the week, and actually listening back to the show on Tuesday or Wednesday. I listened back this week, just because it's a quiet season for a lot of other podcasts that I listen to.
Right.
And I thought, what an idiot! It's federation trained players, isn't it? Not passports, but basically that's why they're allowed those two.
So essentially, what we thought is true that Catalans aren't in fact breaking any rules. It's just
the same as
working the system in the same way that anyone else could do that.
Well, Widnes have got more than 7 as well.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
That's collection and clarification 1 out of the way.
Okay, excellent.
Lee Whitnall got in touch. I take your point on Big Earl. I'll go for Adam Blair instead.
Yeah.
He'd chicken wing his own mum.
Yeah, he probably would.
Yeah, he's a nasty little bugger, isn't
he? Yeah, it's nice to see. I saw was it Big Gordy Tallis giving him a right spray as well on Channel 9.
Yeah, he wasn't happy after the test series,
I would suggest if Gordon Tallis thinks you're a bit overly aggressive, then you're probably a bit overly aggressive.
Bernard JKD got in touch. He said,
Bernard got in touch loads this week, and it was wonderful to learn a bit more about him. Obviously not all of it's, great podcast material, but it was really interesting to learn some of the stats he keeps and things like that, I would have thought, from your point of view.
Well, basically, he was saying he has seen 1,657 full rugby league matches in the last 6.5 years, but never seen a kick like that by Jake Connor last week. #Ole.
Yes, that was quite something, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it turns out Bernard keeps a spreadsheet of every sporting event he watches or goes to.
Right.
And whilst that sounds massively nerdy,
does his dad let him drive on the driveway, but only on Saturdays? Is that...
He has to wear a helmet whenever he does anything physical. But no. But that's amazing. To have that level of detail about stuff. I think when you think about it, like I say, it sounds like nerdy as anything. But
no, I didn't say that. Hang on, it's not like you said.
No,
it's like you said. Right, okay.
It does seem that way, but I think it's really interesting. What I've found as I'm getting older is memory is not what it once was.
Jesus Christ, man.
And this sort of thing gives you...
How old are you, 31?
This sort of thing gives you a jumping off point though, doesn't it? For remembering something, if you've got it. Because I always used to do it with gigs I went to.
Right, okay.
And I'd list who the support act was, where it was, who the headline act was obviously.
Right.
Yeah. But I don't go to
I feel like I need to start a spreadsheet for something.
Yeah.
I'll write my brains.
Training regime.
Yeah, but hey, that's not a bad one.
Put that up.
That's not bad, yeah.
Scoots Mackenzie got in touch. My 8-year-old was watching Britain's Got Talent and said, "Who is the other presenter if that one is Anton Deck?"
Oh, I like it.
What can I say?
What a funny kid.
Yeah.
Good lad.
I think it's because it runs in the bloodline that they just can't decide figure out which presenter's which. So
yeah, but poor Scoots' kid just thinks that the one on the right hand side, who is Deck, is just being ignored.
Yeah.
He's just turned up and he's like just stood in shot, film bombing it. If the other one is Anton Deck and there's just his pal there.
Yeah.
Poor kid. I hope she set him straight.
Well,
you know they always stand in the same order, so you can work out which one is. You never see them another way round. You never don't see them and then Deck. Never ever. It's like a thing they do. I read an article about it. It's like a thing they did when they started presenting children's TV.
Yeah.
They would stand them and then Deck so that you knew it was Ant and Deck because there was that overlap. This is fascinating. PJ and Duncan overlap, you see. So you had to make it clear that they weren't PJ and Duncan.
Right. Moving on to the next corrections and clarifications. This one was thrown at us by Jonathan Goodwin, who sent it in by email, and I thank him very much for this, because if anything, it feels like it proves my point rather than, although it makes me look like an idiot, it proves my point rather than takes away from it. He says, "It feels a bit daft emailing a rugby league podcast about this, but it had to be brought up. I'm not looking for it to be read out or anything. Well, you're getting it read out."
Yeah. It's been a really short feedback section this week, John.
"I just wanted to put you in your place, winky face. I only started listening this year, but you always do good shows. 3 hours of work disappears. There's a nice natural feel to it, and you're not worried about what you say. I'll try to contribute on the rugby league side of things now. I've got off my arse and found your contact info." We give it you every week, John. I mean, come on.
And then you tweeted us and asked us for it. Sort of finding it.
"I just wanted to pull you up on your rant about how clubs will steal the Will Griggs on Fire song and claim it to be their own. Everything you ranted about was exactly what Wigan did when stealing the Freeman's on Fire song from Stevenage. It's been going on that long. They sang it for 2 years whilst he played for them, and he's been at Bristol City for 2 years ever since. Even this year, Newcastle were singing it before Wigan. A few Wigan fans stick it about on social media and the whole world's wanking over their song. Anyway, I'd just like to say, come up with your own fucking songs, Wigan. Stop trying to claim them as yours."
That's the football club, isn't it?
Yeah, but
although I did see James Clare's on fire video, and I did see someone on a Bulls forum put something along the lines of, all I'm saying is that there are 2 syllables in J Pitts.
There was also the Workington fans were singing "Sam That's on Fire." I've got no problem necessarily with fans singing a song that sounds like another song.
People just appropriate it and enjoy it.
Yeah, and that's fine, enjoying themselves. It's the claiming it for your own, like you're the biggest fucking genius in the world, singing it. And the problem is the Wigan fans have put it over me that they came up with this and they haven't. So they're exactly what I say. So that song has been dormant for 2 years since this lad left Stevenage.
Yeah.
And someone's picked up on it and owned it again. And my point was, in 2 years' time, some 18-year-old's going to act like they're the best people in the world because one of their older fans will remember it from somewhere else, fit it into one of their players.
Do you mean Stevenage?
No, I'm saying...
Oh, right, okay, sorry.
This is what'll happen. It'll come around in a cycle.
Yeah,
and the guys who don't remember it being a big sensation 2 years before, like us with the Stevenage thing, and people will about Wigan... will think it's theirs and act like they're the most hilarious support group ever. That's what annoys me about it. It's just, I think
you should probably let it go, Mark.
Yeah.
It's probably alright. It's probably going to be okay.
I just get wound up about stuff.
I can sense that. sense that.
Mum's on Facebook.
What's more?
We're talking about mums on Facebook.
Let's talk about you.
Not my mum. Other mums.
No, your mum's
PC mums.
Your mum's decent on Facebook, actually. She's pretty good value. She likes and shares the show with great regularity.
She's certainly better than...
Other people's mums on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which way this stands, but if you're going to make an almost Holocaust joke, then you need to be prepared to get pulled up, Mark. Now, I know that what you were saying was nothing to do with the Holocaust. It was actually to do with kids being put on trains in Germany to get away from the Nazis, which was great. But clearly, this lady didn't get that and thought you were making a Holocaust joke.
All I'm saying is... there was a time when we ran Facebook. The problem is some of us are now mums on Facebook.
Yes, the millennials are taking over, Mark.
Yeah, but our age, we have children and stuff now. Some of us, and people get all PC and don't like a bit of a risky joke.
Well, my mum isn't on Facebook, so I don't have to worry about that. So I'm okay.
Not happy about it.
My auntie is.
Yeah, aunties are as bad as mums.
No, well, my auntie only just recently started doing it, and she added me on Facebook, and I added her back, and I immediately messaged her and said, "Auntie Giselle, I have absolutely no problem with you following me on Facebook, and it's lovely. Be aware that I won't censor myself